Welcome to the weekly Q&A with Dr. Gray. During this show, Dr. Gray will take questions from the audience and answer them for you. Please share this out with all of your friends and family across all social media platforms. And now, let's welcome Dr. Gray.
Hey everybody, and welcome. I've got exciting news. My Mars Venus Heart Space app is now at the App Store, at least for the Apple. It'll get on the other one soon, but right now it's at the Apple Store. You can download it, test it for free. It is the Heart Space app, and right now for today, you have to find it by going to Heart Space Emotional Healing. But then tomorrow it will be Mars Venus Heart Space. That's the proper name. But it is about healing the heart. And whenever you're stressed, what the principle is, an idea that I've been talking about for years, been teaching for 30 years, is that whenever you're upset, it's not good to go tell your partner that you're upset with them. It just doesn't work. Nobody listens to that. That's why women go to therapists. You pay me and I'll listen to it. But if you're blaming me, I can't hear it. Nobody can hear blame and criticism and whatever, particularly when you're in a sexual relationship. Other people can, like we have free speech. People say things online. You can choose to listen to it or not. But when you're married to somebody, you can't just walk out the door. But you should. If somebody's saying mean things to you, and this is, again, one of my basic ideas for women, particularly if men get angry, you have to diffuse the anger. It will just shut you down. And the only way you diffuse it is to politely walk out of the room. Just say, I need to think about it. Walk out of the room. We'll talk soon. And then come back 10 minutes later with a smile on your face like nothing happened. That is diffusing anger. Men get all riled up because their hormones go out of balance. Whenever he loses confidence in some kind of confrontation with his wife, what will happen is estrogen levels will shoot up. And whenever men talk, when they're upset, estrogen goes up. It just makes them more and more angry if they're angry. So it's one Mars Venus idea could change the whole world if women could understand that when a man is angry, don't provoke him to talk more. And for men, when you're angry, don't talk more. She will tend to try to get you to talk because in her mind, she thinks if we can just talk, everything will be better. No, all arguments and all negativity happens from talking when your heart is closed. So what the Heart Space app does is when you're upset about normal life stresses, moderate stress, high stress, chronic stress, all three types of stress, and you can pick which one you're in, it will then ask you 5 questions. You'll answer in a minute for each, and then it will write out 5 pages of information about you and your situation and express your deeper levels of feeling. You see, whenever you're experiencing a negative emotion, if you can't let it go very quickly, they're just fleeting motions. If you can't let it go, your brain identifies, oh, I'm afraid. Okay, be alert. What do I have to worry about? Stop feeling fear. But if you stay stuck in fear or anxiety, or if you feel stuck in sadness and hurt, my feelings are hurt. I didn't get what I wanted. Oh, okay, how do I get what I want? Gone. The emotion goes. Why do we hold on to negative emotions? It's because negative emotions always have other negative emotions linked to them. Like you can't even ever get angry if you're not also afraid. I mean, if you're not afraid, you're cool, calm, and collected. You're just kind of like, okay, well, this happened. So what do I do to fix it? Or if I can't fix it, let it go. Emotions are very, very important, and we need to listen to them because they tell us, okay, there's danger, and the danger in terms of what I don't want, what I don't have, what could happen, what shouldn't have happened. So the brain wants to feel this emotion. So you have this emotion, but then you have to ask yourself, and why do I feel that emotion? And then you have to go, there's another emotion behind it. Like if you're angry, you're also afraid of, if angry, somebody stole money from me. Well, I'm afraid that I won't have enough money now, or I'm afraid, or I might feel guilty because I shouldn't have put my wallet out for somebody to steal. There's always other emotions that you're not looking at if you can't quickly let go of a negative emotion. So one of the challenges today for women particularly, and more so for men, is that we've reversed everything. As soon as we created this world where women have to survive, they have to be independent. They can't be dependent on a man. which is historically pretty much the way it was, when women feel I can depend on someone, I don't have to do it all myself, then what happens is her testosterone goes up, her male side goes up, and her female side weakens. She doesn't make enough estrogen. And women have to make way more estrogen than men. They have to have relationship where you're depending on someone and they depend on you. You're interdependent. That's a big estrogen stimulator. And for a woman's well-being, she has to have that. And talking and sharing helps her to produce that if she's being heard. But if what you want to talk and share about is your relationship is not good enough for you and you want to change the man or you want him to do something different, and you're feeling angry or you're feeling hurt or you're feeling worried, you're not trusting, you're not accepting, you're not loving, he will become defensive. So we're supposed to be defensive. If we're threatened, the brain will go into defensive reaction. And for men, that defensive reaction causes blood flow to stop to the limbic system, his first reaction. So he doesn't feel, so he can't connect with your feelings. He feels no empathy for you. For women, their first reaction to stress is they have more emotion, the opposite of men, and blood flow stops from the logical part of the brain. Her brain becomes hijacked and she doesn't have all of her logical faculties available to her until she can talk. If she talks, she sorts it out and then it all makes sense. And here's Kay. She's going to be handling the questions today. Hey, welcome, Kay.
How are you, Dr. Gray? Look what I got.
Have you taken them yet? Have you tried?
Yes, I just started.
Okay,
just started.
Good. So you can give us an ongoing report on if you notice anything.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, we've already got some questions in the chat.
Well, let me finish up what I was just saying. Sure. And the book off to the right, it's so pretty. I like the cover so much.
I love it.
It's the new Men Are From Mars book for women only, and it's Be Happy With or Without a Man. And what we were just talking about is one of the things that book contains is how to do the feeling letter process, which is whenever you're upset, you have the ability, whether you're a man or a woman, you have the ability to look inside and transform all your negative emotions so that you don't have to go and dump it on your partner, whether it be a man or a woman. Then you can go to your partner without complaining and criticizing or being upset with them and ask for what you want. When you're asking without your heart being closed, your partner is much more open and receptive to your requests. The great thing is that men are born wanting to make women happy. And you think, and then women say, well, why isn't he trying to make me happy? It's because you're complaining. When you complain to a guy, you criticize a guy, you compare a guy, you control a guy. What happens? You just push down his testosterone. And when his testosterone goes down, his brain becomes hijacked and he's no longer Mr. Wonderful. So that's all in this new book, Be Happy With or Without a Man, because ultimately, when women learn to be happy with or without a man, then all a man's job is to make you happier. And when you're not happy, not to step on your feet, but allow you or help you find your happiness. But it's up to you to do it. It's no longer a man's job to make you happy. It's not a woman's job to make a man happy. We want to be more balanced. Women want to be on their male side. You can't look to a man to make you happy. You've got your own male side. Make yourself happy. Use a man to make you happier. So that's the new message. Men and women are still different. People always ask me, well, how have we changed since you wrote Men Are From Mars? We're still different. It's just that we're facing new challenges, and those challenges show up differently. So what are our questions today?
Well, the first one that just popped up, I think is appropriate. Is the book available yet?
No, but the app is. So go to your app store if you've got an iPhone, and you can check out the app. Do it today. And then write the feedback. Hopefully it really works for people. We've tested it out. It seems to be almost perfect. I'm loving it. It's really fun. But the book will be out in a couple of probably 3 weeks, 4 weeks.
Can you pre-order it on Amazon or?
Probably next week we'll tell you how to do that. But thank you.
Oh, that'd be great. Okay. So we've got one from Anastasia. So how do you address issues in the relationship without being offensive or appearing ungrateful?
Just be grateful. Don't be offensive. So it's a good question. Okay. So how can you not be offensive? So let's look at what's offensive to a man. This is a woman saying. So anytime you're complaining to a man, it's somewhat offensive. Okay. Because see, what a complaint is, it's a negative approach to simply asking for what you want. If you could just give up all complaints, just start becoming aware of I'm complaining. What are my complaints? Write them down, and then look, what is my request underneath the complaint? Then just make the request. So let's say here's a complaint. You're late once again. Why can't you just call? All right, that's a complaint. That's a nag. Okay, that just makes a man wrong. Why make somebody wrong? See, we live in a mentality if you can't grow, if you don't make people wrong. What you do is you ask for help. So what you just say, honey, you forgot to call me next time. Do me a favor. Give me a little advance warning so I can put the fish in right before you get here. Done like that. But if you're doing it with an emotional charge, like you didn't call once again, that's called blaming emotional charge, frustration or anger directed at him. Now, when that's the case, there's like a whole range of how successful you can be. My wife can be frustrated with me all the time because we just made love this morning. Okay, so she can say anything. Okay, I'm just okay, good. So it's also like, what is the state of your relationship at that time? Think about every relationship has a love bank. And every time man makes love to his wife because she wants to make love and she's enjoying it, he puts $1,000 in it. She just deposited $1,000 in his love bank. So then cha-ching. That's one of the biggest things. Every time I give my wife a hug, I get a couple dollars in her love bank. I get 4 hugs a day. But see, the thing about relationships is the brain habituates. So in the beginning, I'm a pretty wealthy guy. You know, I have a good job. I make good money. But once that's regular, that's called habituation. I get no credit for that. She gets no dopamine spike because I came home today making the same amount of money. But if I give her a hug, if I go find her and give her a hug, I get a couple of points. And then I find her again, I get a couple of points. So I build up points all day long. I just threw in the thing about the love bank. Sex, when a partner loves sex, enjoys sex, men give you 1,000 points. But I could be a great lover and everything for my wife. I get 1 or 2 points. Okay. Women only give 1 or 2 points for everything. So man,
well, isn't it true though that
but
you kind of have to pick and choose your battles? I mean, I think that women have a tendency, perhaps, to not look at what they're saying, or they look more at what they're saying than what people are hearing. And I have this thought that perhaps if we just sort of examined why we're so upset about a certain issue, and maybe instead approached, our husbands, our significant others, with a little less accusatory tone, a little less.
That's what I'm talking about, the accusatory tone. And so let's say, I'll give you an example from my marriage. Okay. So I tend to leave the lights on in the living room when I walk through. Okay. It's a big, long house, so I go from the bedroom to the kitchen. I have to turn on lights to get there. I leave the lights on. And my wife seems to be very good at remembering to turn out lights. Okay. She also sees the electric bill, which is crazy in California. But it doesn't seem to faze me at all. All right. And so 1 is the electric bill doesn't faze me. 2 is then she would complain, well, this is not good for the environment. So we only use green energy anyway. But still, you should turn the lights out. It's good for the world. So I respect all that. Okay. So she got a request there, but I still forget. I don't remember. How can you blame somebody for not remembering? Their brain just doesn't remember. That's all it is. So the first time she does it, it's no big deal. The second time it happens, it's no big deal. It's now happened 20 times, 30 times. What happens in a woman's brain is an accumulation of frustration. Okay, she's frustrated the first time, frustrated the second time. It builds. I call it the alphabet theory. When you have a dissatisfaction with your partner and you don't let it go, you don't rationally look at it and go, okay, it's not a big deal. If you don't get to that place of looking at it rationally, it's not a big deal, which is what you're kind of talking about. Think about it. Right. And it is women particularly, but men can be like women when they make too much estrogen. But women's brains are designed under moderate stress. Oh, he forgot to turn out the light again. That's moderate stress. Blood flow stops to the logical part of the brain. This is how women are different. And to me,
they sort of personalize it too. They feel like he doesn't care about me because he didn't turn out the lights.
So once it happened like 5 or 10 times, it's no longer the lighting bill. It's no longer that the light's on. It's that he didn't remember. That means he doesn't love
Doesn't love
me.
me.
He doesn't care about me. And then underneath that is, well, if he can't remember to do something little, then what if I have a big need? Then I really won't get anything. But the truth is, men forget little stuff because they're not that important. But big things, we do. We're the ones who go to battle.
Yep.
Give up our lives. Give me a big problem, and guys are like full on. But little things, and you can even look. There's more to all of this. I mean, this was so fun in this book. I have all these references. There's research actually shows that men's dopamine receptors are different from women's, which means that it's like for most women, we'll put it this way, loud noises. For my wife, if somebody honks, it's going to be a bigger reaction in her than it is in me. A loud noise is going to have a bigger reaction for her. Any source of stress, a dopamine hit, will be bigger for her than it will be for me. We're sort of numb unless it's a big, big response. Now, I'm thinking about the women in New York. They're hearing honking. They've habituated to it. Clearly, they habituate. We all habituate, which means if you hear something over and over. But when it comes to love and in your relationship, what happens is the more a man sort of repeats behaviors she doesn't like, the more upset she'll get. So the first time it was only 5% upset. The last time, months later, years later, it's 100-degree upset. So no wonder he thinks she's crazy. What is the problem here? It's just the lights, but she's made it into something bigger. And this inevitably happens, particularly for women, because they are ruled by estrogen. Estrogen is emotion. They're wired up differently under emotion. When women get triggered emotionally, they do this thing called ruminate. There's research showing this. They'll think about it for hours and days. Sometimes the rest of her life, she'll remember these things. Whereas a guy, done, it'll just be done. And yet we have a phenomena today of guys who are more on their female side. That means they're making more estrogen than they used to. Their testosterone levels are lower. So this is a really bad thing that's happening. But you look at the average 25-year-old man, that should be his peak testosterone time. It's 20% lower than just 20 years ago. Just 20 years ago.
Well, I mean, like my husband, he's on the spectrum. He's got Asperger's. So he ruminates. But there can't be two of us in the household that ruminate. So,
when he ruminates, does he talk about it?
Yeah, he does.
That's the problem. Somebody has to tell him, never talk out loud what you're feeling if you're a man. For a woman, don't hold it inside.
He does to me.
What's that?
He does. He talks to me.
He shouldn't. No, if he's ruminating, don't talk. I'm telling you, talking produces estrogen.
Okay.
If you make estrogen and you're a man, what happens is your stress doesn't go away.
Okay.
If you make testosterone and you're a man, your stress will go away. So many men, our whole culture is teaching us, you're supposed to talk about your feelings. Women pay me a huge amount of money just to come into my office and talk to me. Because if I can be a good listener, they will feel better because their estrogen levels go up. Men, their stress level does not go down if they talk about their feelings, but they can feel good. It's like sugar makes you feel good. Beer makes you feel good, but it doesn't lower your stress. Okay. You need is your testosterone to come back up to make you feel stress-free if you're a man.
Well, I have a tendency to be able to divert him. So I'm a rumination expert.
Well, I wouldn't say it's Asperger's. It's just as simple. Any man, if you have the male setup of men and testosterone and estrogen, we know how men are wired up. Mm-hmm. This is universal. This is not just how it shows up will be different because if men have been taught they should talk about their feelings, they're going to be more stressed as men. Always, if you read the women's romantic novels, there are always these guys who don't talk much. Okay, you got to really get them to talk much. And yes, if they're really strong and they're independent, then when they cry and they're vulnerable, that's really wonderful because it's the exceptional moment as opposed to all the time. Okay, right. It's like something new and different. Well, that's great. I remember one woman saying, as I'm giving a seminar, she says, "Well, I like when men cry and open." I said, "Are you married?" She said, "No, I'm a lesbian." Okay, that's why it's not that it's unlikable, but if you live with somebody over time, what I hear women saying is, "I feel like he's a child. I don't want to be his mother. I feel burdened. I feel overwhelmed," because when a man goes to his female side and starts talking about vulnerable feelings, if he's not grounded in his masculinity, there's an exception here. It's like when you're grounded in your masculinity, you can share anything. But if you lose your masculinity, so you're feeling bad about yourself, or you're feeling insecure and you're feeling doubt and worry and all, women feel like, oh, I have to be the strong one. I have to hold it all together. I can't lean on him. This whole idea of women leaning on men for support is the essence of femininity. You can't make babies without a man. You need a man's help. And that's our job. Our job is to help women. So we have a question here, which is...
Yes, we do. From Mason07, it says, "Hi, John. You had mentioned progesterone for some gynecological conditions. Do you think progesterone-only birth control pills could help with heavy cycles and PCOS if one isn't in a relationship?"
Well, first of all, you don't have to be in a relationship to make progesterone. Relationships with men actually are not major progesterone producers. It's relationships with yourself and with your friends, and social bonding is what makes progesterone. But as far as PCOS goes and PMS for women, what's going on in her biology in both those cases is that she has what's called estrogen dominance. And here I am talking about estrogen is what calms your brain, makes you feel good and all this stuff. Well, after ovulation, if you're a woman and you're still cycling, your body needs to make more progesterone than estrogen. You still need to make 10 times more estrogen than a man. It's just that you also have to make more progesterone than estrogen. And so what's this huge thing, 25% of women supposedly have PCOS, and so many women, even more, have PMS, premenstrual syndrome.
Yep.
Okay. And these are like, you can't talk about these things. Of course you can talk about these things. This is biology. And what's going on in a woman's body is that she requires to make higher levels of progesterone every month before her period, and it has to go up. But if you're making lots of testosterone, the testosterone takes away your ability to make progesterone. So let me put it in psychological terms. This is what I do that nobody else does, because I've been doing this 40 years, and I looked at, and the research backs it up as well. But what are the behaviors that a woman is doing when she makes estrogen? You go to a doctor and you trust your doctor, your estrogen is going to go up, whether you have a bad doctor or not. As long as you think this doctor is helping you, your estrogen levels are going to go up. If you go take a class on archery and you have a teacher teaching you, you're depending on him to learn something you want to do, your estrogen is going to go up. If you go to a counselor or a therapist who's going to listen to you talk about your emotions and feelings, it will go up even higher. Because anytime you talk about me, your estrogen goes up. It's so funny. Women get so mad about men being me. Everything about women is me. What I feel, what I don't like, what I want. It's all me.
Yes.
That's okay. You're designed to be that way. I do not want a woman who doesn't know what she wants, because I can provide for her and then she's happy. There's one thing in this book is interesting, is a section where I say that if a woman was happy all the time, a man would be out of a job. We like happy women. Absolutely. We can make you happier. But if you're not feeling the need for help to become happier, if you're not feeling that need, then we have no job. And if we have no job, our testosterone goes up. We'll go find somebody else who needs me to raise their estrogen.
Yes, I like being slightly helpless. I think we Southern women have
That's
perfected that.
Slightly helpless. And if
Just a little bit.
I want to put their answer on the PCOS thing. So the idea of what progesterone gets produced is when you're doing behaviors which are like the opposite of testosterone production. Because if your testosterone goes up, your progesterone goes down. There's a balance there. And testosterone behaviors are behaviors that you have to do. Women make testosterone. You have to have testosterone as well. And it's just not nearly as much as men need. So when you set a goal, like I've got to go do something, then to achieve that goal, you have to do certain things. I'm raising my kids. I have to get up, make my breakfast, and do all these things. So I have to is a testosterone producer. And the ideal is for women to have the right balance of testosterone and estrogen. In traditional relationships, it was built this way, which is being CEO of the house for a woman is all I have to do. Women are just overwhelmed. I have to take care of this. I've got to change diapers. I've got to cook. I've got to shop. I've got to do this big, huge thing women go through.
Multitasking city.
Exactly. Multitasking. And so it's designed so a man takes care of her survival needs. A man brings the outer world, protects her from the outer world, and provides what she needs from the outer world to her. So everything he does provides for her so that she can now do everything for her children and for her husband in response. So she can give freely because he's giving to her. And without a woman having a man to give to you, then what you have is women depending on the government. And that's not an intimate relationship. This will close your heart. This is just transactional, depending on the government for your relationship. And of course, the government likes that because, we got all the women depending on us. They'll never rebel. We can be as corrupt as we want to be. And people, a woman was complaining I was red-pilled. Okay, just come on. We already know the whole COVID thing was a farce. Everybody, it's broken. That they lied to you. Everybody lied to you. The government lies to you. We went to Iraq. That was a lie. That was a deception. We went to Afghanistan. That was a lie. That was a deception. Every war is a lie. It's a deception. You have to get this, folks. There's evil people that run this world. They're not all evil. The people who are serving whatever, but this is real. So let's just get that that's real. And I'm not red-pilled. I mean, everybody knows that they lied to get us into the war with Iraq. We bombed and killed so many people in that country. We did that. It's terrible. Shock and awe. There was no threat to us. I mean, I'm all into protecting ourselves. I'm not against military or anything. What I'm against is deception and lies. They lie to you all the time. So let's just get beyond that. I'm not red-pilled. I'm just a simple person looking at what is, not imagining that the pharmaceutical industry that has been sued over and over and over for billions of dollars, they've been fined for lying, for deceiving. Over half the drugs they approve are recalled because they didn't work. Okay, so just be real about this. Okay, so anyway, that was my response to the lovely woman who wrote to me, I'm throwing away all your books because you've been red-pilled. Okay. I'm not red-pilled. I'm just simply saying what's common sense. Let's know this. And the whole thing with the mask, they proved the masks don't do anything. They never used masks in the past. The only time you use masks in a hospital is
Are you in surgery?
So your spit doesn't go into an open wound. Of course, you don't want to spit in somebody's face. There are things called germs. You wash your hands, all those things. But it's never been the case that doctors that they had, and there's no research showing it does anything. Viruses are so tiny, a mask doesn't stop it at all. So all of this was all make-believe. They all completely lied to you.
I'm shocked. Shocked, I tell you.
You can even talk about this on the internet now. You couldn't do it then because they said, that's misinformation. But now it's all been proven to be true. So let's relax on the whole thing and come back to, people can have differences of point of view just because my neighbors might have different political beliefs. Fine. I mean, there's still people that don't believe in chemtrails. I've been talking about them for since 1995. I've been telling you, look up at the sky. They're poisoning us. Now they're talking about geoengineering. It's all established. The government's been doing it. They have treaties to do it all around the world. This is not just conspiracy theories. It seems like what they called conspiracy theories all become true. I mean, and of course, then there's wacko ones. Everybody knows that.
Oh, yeah. So, it's fascinating to me to have differing opinions around me, and it's not going to hurt you to hear a different one.
That's right. That's what we have to learn to do is hear different points of view.
I love it.
Now we come back to relationships. When I have different points of view, wonderful. But when your different point of view is trying to change someone, see, I'm sharing this. I'm not attached to anybody believing those ideas. I'm just saying I'm just sharing what's true. Right. And give me evidence it's not, okay? Any of those things, we all know they're totally accepted as true. Nobody disagrees with them. But even if I said things people disagree with, I'm not attached to you changing.
No.
Happiness doesn't depend on you changing. But when you're in a marriage, you got to be careful about what you say because your happiness is that you live with this person and you're trying to change them. And so if you're trying to change your partner, that's what's offensive. That's the problem with this whole thing is freedom. Let your partner be free to be themselves. The most wonderful definition of friendship, which a relationship can also be a friendship, which is to delight in another's presence without trying to change them. This is so good. It's my motto. I don't do anything to change my partner.
Oh, same.
so much.
I wouldn't change him. I fell in love with him the way he was.
That's what love is. Think of love as like,
Yeah.
you are just the way I like you to be. And yet you're not
Exactly.
perfect. There's not perfect
No,
around it. And you can
perfect is dull.
So anyway, so we come back to the question on progesterone. It's very important. So I talked about setting a goal, things you have to do. When you have to do things, that makes testosterone. For women, testosterone is not bad. It's good. It's just that when your testosterone is too high, your estrogen will go too low at one part of the month. But on the other part of the month, when testosterone is too high, your progesterone goes too low. And when your progesterone goes too low, that's when you have all these terrible symptoms, PMS and PCOS. And what you want to know is anytime you're doing what you have to do, you're making testosterone. Anytime when you're feeling, I get to do, I enjoy doing, I don't have to do it, but I like doing it. I'm not obligated to do it. So all those things, that's freedom. When you feel you're not obligated, when you enjoy it, when you like to do it, you're making progesterone. But if you're
Makes
doing
sense.
something and it's a burden, well, wake up. Life's not perfect. Everything, there's going to be burdens in life. That makes testosterone. But if it's too much testosterone, you won't be making enough progesterone and you'll have PMS and you won't be a happy woman.
I can see that. Elena has a good question here. Hi, John. Could you please explain if hormonal replacement therapy is good, or is it better to go with natural biohacking?
Well, I'm all for natural biohacking. There's a biohack right there. You know, I used to have a health food store online. When the whole shutdown happened, I couldn't get the best quality. The transportation got messed up. I couldn't get the best quality product, so I just quit. But here's the one product that I continue to promote. It's at my website. It's called Mars and Venus, and it's the advanced design. I've been promoting this for many years, but each few years, improving it because new research comes out on things that are really helpful. And I put everything in there. But the key factor there is lithium orotate. And lithium orotate, it wasn't always on the cover. It used to be sort of undercover because people were, thank you, a fan of her. I forget her name. Dana
White.
Dana White. Okay, but now I put it right on the cover, lithium. Because, see, the pharmaceutical industry made this a bad thing. If you do any Google searches for lithium, just put lithium, they say, oh, dangerous, don't take it, terrible for you. You have to get blood tests to make sure you don't have too much. Yeah, that's because doctors used to prescribe too much. They would prescribe 500 times the dose of what's inside that bottle. You can eat the whole bottle, but don't. It doesn't do anything more. Take a couple of pills. That's all you need.
They also used to do lobotomies, so just saying.
Yes. So
Shock
that's what
therapy.
Antidepressants are right now, is they're like lobotomies. We'll look back at it and say it's the stupidest thing ever done. It numbs people out. It disconnects them from their heart. Their body gets sick. They can't heal. It's the best they have according to what doctors are told you have available to you. I mean, I have clients, they go to psychiatrists, they do one medication, they do another medication, now they're doing 3 medication, no test ever, and look at the side effects of all those medications: violence, suicide. They're all side effects, depression. And don't stop taking them because I said don't take them, please. Because once you start taking it, it changes your brain, and you have to slowly titrate with the guidance of a holistic doctor who knows how to do this. I know how to do it, but I'm not a medical doctor, so I'm not going to suggest it. But what I do know is that any stage of your life, whatever medicines you're taking, you can take lithium orotate. Lithium orotate is such a minute dose. It's a tiny bit of lithium. The Nature magazine reported just recently that Harvard University did a 10-year study proving that this is recommended for preventing Alzheimer's and a treatment for Alzheimer's that's working. That's according to their research. Now, I'm not saying it's doing that. I'm just quoting their research. What I'm saying is this is just a mineral just like magnesium, but it's a special mineral because it's a mineral we run out of very quickly because we eat sugar or because we have stress in our lives. Whenever you have stress in your life, lithium helps lower stress. So if you're stressed, lithium is used up, lowering your stress. Or
menopause itself is stress.
Say that again.
Menopause itself is
Oh,
stress.
are we talking menopause now? We'll talk menopause now. Of course,
Well,
it's
you
stress.
know,
Of
it's
course, it's
stressful.
only in America and in Western worlds is menopause stress.
Uh-huh.
Uh, it's not this big, huge thing in other cultures, more ancient cultures, because women had a different lifestyle. The lifestyle women have today is they've been feminized to go through the feminist movement to be more masculine. When you're more
Right.
masculine, you can't be more feminine. Menopause is where you have to shift in your hormones from estradiol, which is the form of estrogen of a young woman who's cycling, to a woman who's more mature, who no longer cycles. So her ovaries don't make estradiol, but her body can continue to make estradiol if you do the things I recommend. And taking hormones, that was the question. Do I recommend taking hormones? I don't. Uh, I recommend biohacking, creating a healthy body with natural supplements, as well as biohacking your life with relationship skills. To me, that's way more important than anything, because you can take all the supplements in the world, and if you're just alone in a dark room, they're not going to do anything. If you don't have loving relationships, supplements don't do anything. They can help you if your intention is to have loving relationships. Uh, they're assistants. I mean, you build a house, you've got to have the blocks, but if what's a house if nobody lives in it? So
Right.
it's going to deteriorate over time. You have to keep it up. You have to keep it up. You keep your body up with love, with relationship. It is the most important thing. You know, when they looked at all the green zones, now called blue zones, but what they found is the diets were all different. The thing that was consistent is socializing and walking and socializing. Those were the things that were most consistent. Singing together. I'm doing a thing now with years ago. My coach was Roger Love, but he has a video now, an app on doing your voice lessons. I didn't do them today. I was busy having sex, but when I'm not having sex, I'll do my voice lessons, and they're just fantastic. He says it very clearly. Uh, this is your brand. Okay, your voice. This is you. This is how you communicate to the world. It's like an instrument. You have to tune it. And doing voice lessons, tuning my voice, it's fantastic. I just feel so great. My voice is huge and deep and everything.
Well, it opens up your breathing and
Yes,
all
yes.
of that. It's
It's amazing. There's
changes your posture.
and definitely changes posture. All those good things.
Yeah.
Okay, so do I have other questions, or should I keep going?
Yes, I've actually got a great one here. Monica asks, my boyfriend is 16 years younger than me. Good for you, Monica. What's your take on age gap relationships? I'm 51, he's 35. My husband's 6 years younger than me.
Okay, so what was her age again?
51 and he's 35.
So does he have children already?
I don't know.
So it's always going to be the case that as a guy becomes more mature, there's a high risk of him wanting to have children, and you can't have children.
Right.
So that's going to be one of the issues that comes up. It's inevitable for many people. I'm not saying it's for her situation. The other situation is that a guy who's 35 going with a 51-year-old woman may have mother issues where he really likes you sort of being more dominant. At a certain point, as his confidence increases, he won't want you to be more dominant. And that's going to create problems. He kind of outgrows you. So there's every relationship will have challenges.
Mm-hmm.
Traditionally, the ideal relationship is a man 7 years older than a woman. That's the traditional idea. Why? Because he has more life experience. And so she can look up to him for something, at least, that she doesn't have. Men always marry down, women always marry up, according to history. What that's about is just, or younger, the average age of right, even today, the average is men are typically 4 or 5 years older than women, just because women are attracted to somebody who's got something she doesn't. Okay, women are all about me, me, me. I got to get something I can't give myself, and that's good. I want to be feeling as a man. I want to feel I can contribute something to your life that you can't. That's the whole key to this. Is that there's a polarity there where women have to look up to the man, and the man has to worship the woman and devoted to her. And so, anytime you can build a man up, he will have more energy, more motivation, and he'll humble himself before you. Women often, I know some women who just won't build their husband up at all.
Oh,
Uh, And I just go, listen, look at any entertainer. Now, entertainers are a performer. They're on stage. They're giving it all. They're doing something for you. That's their male side. When you're serving others, when you're doing for others, that's your male side. For a woman or a man, that's your male side. So when you see performers, they're on stage, they do their show. At the end of the show, what do? You clap for them. And when you clap for them, what do? They bow. They bow to you. Is it they're humbled in your presence. They think, oh, I did such a great job. Everybody starts clapping. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. If you appreciate a man, he bows to you. So one woman,
Well, yeah, it's,
one
you
woman,
know, I look at Nancy Reagan and Ronald Reagan, and we used to call it the 7 Nancy Reagan looks. How to look adoringly at your husband 7 different ways.
it's true. It was totally
It
fake,
works.
though. They're both actors. No,
It
they were
works.
just actors. He is an actor. We know.
Yes,
Trump's saying it all the time. It's like, what is he has that
he's
phrase?
a showman.
They're all actors. Okay, this is all
Yes.
action.
Well,
Actors.
Hollywood for ugly people is DC.
Well,
That's what
whatever.
Washington D.C. is. Hollywood for ugly people.
Anyway, so you don't know these people that, and not to say that we're not all actors in some way, but what we want in our relationships is to be authentic, to be connected, to open our hearts, and you have to be careful in the outer world, what you say, what you do, how vulnerable you are. If we look at women, for example, they want to be able to share what they feel. You can't share what you feel in the workplace. I heard one influencer woman say, women, go in the workplace, be yourself 100%, share what you feel, express your emotions. No, don't do that. People share insecurity and fears and
Trauma
doubt.
dumping everywhere.
Nobody's going to want to be near
No.
you. They don't want to be
No.
associated with you at all. So, and same thing for a man. If you do that, nobody's going to want to be with you. And so now what happens is for women, because emotions and sharing emotions is so integral to estrogen, they're suppressing emotions all the time when they're at work. And then if they're not looking forward to coming home and sharing their feelings with someone of meaning to them,
Right.
then they end up suppressing emotions. And you do suppress. Women are the master suppressors. Women can think men are the master suppressors, but we rarely suppress if we're on our male side. Our emotions just go away. See, emotions are there but when you feel threatened. If you feel threatened, emotions come up. And so for a woman, the way you overcome threat is to feel I have support. Think about, just go back into the primitive, go to the Ashwar Indians where I was living in South America. Okay. So you're living in huts. And right there is the woods, and there's tigers. Okay, animal noises are there. You don't have police, you don't have guard, you don't have fences up or anything. So you're a pregnant woman, you've got a baby, you're going to get water in the night, and you're hearing this noise in the jungle. What do you need to do? You need to
not go in the first place. Make that decision before, and don't go in the first place.
Don't go in the first place. But if you're there, what you have to
Honey.
do is you have to go tell somebody. You tell somebody that tigers are here, and the men will go do something. And the
Honey,
men will
help.
quietly go do something, and the women will talk amongst themselves. It's the bottom line for women. When there's threat, you need to talk. When there's threat for men, they don't have emotions. There's research that shows that when a man makes adrenaline, blood flow stops to the emotional part of the brain. It's not that he's suppressing emotion. He just doesn't have emotions. Where do they go? They just stop being made. For women, they don't stop being made. They're there, and she pushes them down. And that causes her to be more tired. It causes her to have more stress. Just pushing down negative emotions causes stress. Then what happens is her brain basically goes, if she pushes her emotions down, also her estrogen levels go down and her testosterone levels go up. She becomes more manly. And when the brain says to a woman, looks at a woman and says, oh, she's more manly, she's not feminine, she must be in danger. All it takes is to be too far on your male side, even though life is not dangerous. It's just you're trying to prove that I'm as good as a man. And so you're doing all this male stuff, your brain goes, oh, you must be chased by a tiger and there's nobody there to help you. So I'm going to produce stress hormones. And now you're going to have chronic negative emotions. And you're going to wonder, why do I have all these negative thoughts all the time in my brain? You have automatic negative thoughts. They're called ants, A-N-T. You got ants in your brain. This is what's happened to women today. And it's all because of this reversal that goes on. And for men, if they're having sex with a woman, it will go away very soon. The attraction will go away. But while they are having sex, meaning if they're having sex in their relationship and she's on her male side, that it won't last, because the polarity between a man and a woman happens when he's more on his male side, she's more on her female side. There's like two polarities, north and south poles of a magnet.
Yin yang.
They track. But without that polarity, there's no attraction, and couples will lose their attraction, which is what happens to couples over as they get older. They start having less and less sex. Sex is like tells your body. And also, if you're having sex and you're a woman, it's the number one estradiol thing. But this is the remedy for menopause: have lots of sex, and I have lots of sharing of emotion. It's that when you can be vulnerable. Vulnerability is estradiol. Anytime you're vulnerable. So I have all these techniques in this book. They're so fantastic.
I'm so looking forward to it, and I want my autographed copy. I'm telling you.
You'll get your autograph copy.
We got another one from, it looks like Marie B. I'm 40. Oh, this is a good one. I'm 42 and have been getting menstrual migraines for the past 5 years. Any thoughts on how to approach it? It's so painful.
Okay, so, well, first of all, this lithium orotate that we're just talking about, it was first discovered by Dr. Nieper in Germany for migraine headaches. That's what he developed it for. And then it was from my work is where I then took it and popularized it for balancing hormones, for giving you energy, for lowering stress, because it does all those other things as well. My younger brother was bipolar. He eventually shot himself, which so many bipolar people do. Usually when anybody's suicidal, it's a bipolar symptom. They go really up and they crash down. They just can't get back up again, and life is miserable. So I learned all about lithium, and they're giving him 500 times the dose of lithium. And that side effect of it's a salt. If ever you take 500 times the dose of salt, you'll die. If you take 500 times the dose of magnesium, you'll have diarrhea and die. You'll become dehydrated. If you take too much calcium, any mineral, if you take 500 times the dose, it's going to have a side effect. Well, when you take 500 times the dose of lithium, it would have side effects. And for Jimmy, the side effect was just too much. He didn't want to continue doing this drug, which is the only thing that kept him from having the bipolar symptoms. And what this will do, the doses and the form and what I put with it, it keeps you from going too high or too low. It keeps you in a normal range of up and down, up and down. And for men, it allows you to, if a lot of men don't have many ups and downs. I do have, well, I don't now because I take lithium all the time, but I have moderate ups and downs. And that's good because I have a female side. But the male side of me is the part of me that goes in and goes out, goes in and goes out. So this is the husband who I really sort of masking a guy. When he's there with you, he's 100% there. And when he's gone, he's off doing something else, one thing at a time. That's the male side of things.
Very linear.
What I find is with lithium orotate, then my tendency to pull away is much less. And the tendency to get closer, they're going to be more. Some men just can't handle too much intimacy because it produces too much estrogen. He doesn't have enough testosterone. I'm not perfect at this. Nobody is. If I spend the day with my granddaughter at 2 years old, there's not much I can do. Okay, when you can't do something, you can't make testosterone. But you love a child so much. I just be there with her, but then I become really tired later. I'll take a big nap after being with my kids. Whereas Bonnie, she could be with the kids all day. Okay. Total wonderful.
Oh, yeah. Here's a question. You're not going to believe this. I think you're going to scoff. I think there will be much scoffing at this question. Still, Marie asks how to have lots of sex and not get bored of it. See?
Well, no, this is really a real key thing, which is you're not if you're bored with sex, you're not experiencing polarity. Okay. And it sounds to me that if she's bored with sex, her partner's the one who wants to have sex, and he is probably addicted to sex. Okay. So there is a thing in men who they can become addicted to sex, just like they're addicted to masturbation.
Right.
And that's really what sex is like with your partner. If you're telling me you're bored and you're having lots of sex, then it tells me that you're not really making love as you could be.
Right.
What you're doing is he's simply addicted to his climax. So he's having these climaxes and you're not multi-orgasmic. Okay. He's just getting off. If a guy's just getting off, that's climaxing. It's pretty much like masturbation, and masturbation is addictive.
Right.
So, I hear stories from women say, oh, my husband wants sex 3 times a day. I say he's addicted to sex and you're bored because he's not even having sex with you. He's just having sex. It's there's a big difference between just having sex and making love. Although making love is sex, I refer to it as sex, but with somebody that you're in love with and you're committed to, and that she is multi-orgasmic. If he's having so much sex, then clearly she should be multi-orgasmic. Now, I have so much sex, but my wife is multi-orgasmic. And my wife goes to China. She goes there. She has a job there. I'm not even interested in sex when she's gone. That's because I'm not addicted to sex. Now, what freed me from being addicted to sex is something that happens when you're in a monogamous relationship and you're devoted to your partner. When your partner is devoted to you, and that devotion and love for your partner in a committed monogamous relationship, you're not masturbating, you're not thinking about other women, you actually bonded with your partner. What happens when you bond with your partner in that way is your body makes another hormone called prolactin. And prolactin it's a little bit like what lithium does. It keeps your dopamine from going too high. But the problem with it is when men have sex and their dopamine goes really high, then their testosterone goes really high, and then it crashes down. So then you crave sex for it to come back up. It's like a bipolar experience. All addiction's the same thing. You went to high and then you go low, and now I have to have another hit, and I go low, and I have to have another hit, and I go low. So eat an Oreo cookie. Oh, it's so good, delicious, and then have to have another one. Potato chip. Eat one. No, you got to have another one. So you get a big buzz of dopamine. Quickly, it's gone. Now I have to have more. So that's the addiction. And the higher the dopamine hit there is, the more addictive it will be. For man, ejaculation is a high dopamine hit, big high dopamine hit. What prolactin does is it prevents your dopamine hit from being so high. That doesn't mean that you're not going to enjoy. It just when you have a big high dopamine hit, normal dopamine hit is nothing. But because your receptor sites are open, but with a high dopamine hit, your receptor sites close down. So normal dopamine is no longer fulfilling. You have to keep going. You're searching for the big hit, the big hit, the big hit. And your receptor sites are getting smaller and smaller and smaller, shutting down more and more and more. So when you take lithium, for example, what happens, it starts to open up your receptor sites so you don't have to go to such a high level of dopamine stimulation. You're getting the same thrill without having to go online and have sex with a stranger. Okay, you get the thrill from having sex with your partner. Because see, when you have sex with your wife, you're not just, thank you for the repost, Haramala.
That's Shell. That's my friend, Shell.
Okay, thank you.
My
Thank
sister.
But, so you have to just think about this in terms of if you eat a huge amount of dessert, you get really high, then eat some vegetables is nothing. Okay. But if you're not eating desserts all the time, vegetables are really delicious. It's like my little granddaughter. She's never experienced sugar products. So she doesn't know what she's missing. So she just give her a piece of a pear, and it's like a bowl of ice cream. It's a natural fructose from nature. And just a little. She didn't need a whole bunch. She can like eat the whole thing. She's done after a little because the brain's not yet addicted to sugar. And yeah, sugar, nothing wrong with sweetness. I mean, mother's milk. Most people haven't tasted mother's milk. I have. My mother breastfed me, but also when I was making love to my wife when she was pregnant, the milk would come out. I go, this tastes good. It's sweet. It's sweet milk. So there's nothing wrong with sweet It's just that when it's refined processed sugar, it will kick dopamine up so much. And now you have an addiction for it.
Right.
And now you have all these blood sugar issues and everything. But
That's why I made all the baby food for my kids. I'd grind up the vegetables and the fruits and the meats and all of that because I didn't. How do you know how long that's been sitting on the shelf? And it's very easy. You put them in little ice cube trays and you freeze it, and it's just the right amount. That little ice cube in the ice cube tray
that's wonderful.
for a baby, and you keep on adding the ice cubes as they get bigger and bigger on the solid foods. And to me, it helps with taste. It exposes them to, fresher foods, and you know what's in it.
Yeah,
So
it's just, I have a friend of mine. She's does healing work with people, whatever. And I wanted to visit with her. I invited her to dinner. My wife was out of town. I said, I'll take you to dinner. And she says, I can't go out to dinner because everything's toxic. She made me a dinner at her house.
right.
I think that's taking it too far. Okay. We have to realize that we live
I'm just a better cook. I'm a better chef than most
Well,
restaurants.
she's a good chef too. But, if you like to cook at home all the time,
I do.
That's good. I mean,
I do.
Bonnie always cooked, and my wife cooks now. But when she's out of town, I just go out to eat. I cook a few things.
DoorDash.
I'm
I
not
miss DoorDash. Oh,
Yeah.
now Angela's got an interesting question. What vitamins are natural approaches to low sex drive after menopause? I'm on estrogen only.
Yeah. Okay. So the vitamins I'm suggesting, uh, you take what I suggest. Everybody should be doing this. I put everything you need in there in terms of for women. Venus capsules will help to lower your stress. Everything is about lowering your stress levels, and then apply the relationship aspects I talk about. The other thing you need is, as we get older, our digestion becomes weaker and weaker. This is pretty much known. If you have any aging symptoms, it's because your digestion is getting weaker. If you're stressed, your digestion gets weaker. If you're having the symptoms she's describing, her digestion is weaker. So what you need is your body to make every enzyme in your body, to make everything in your body. You need protein. And so as your enzymes start becoming less powerful, you don't fully digest your proteins. And so if you want to balance hormones, your body will make them if you're doing the right relationship things, but you also have to be making the brain chemicals of dopamine that causes motivation, raises testosterone, serotonin, which raises estrogen. So you need both those things happening. And lithium helps to balance the two. So I developed this thing, 25 years ago. I've been promoting it along with lithium orotate, is protein shakes. Now, protein shakes, the very best protein shake you can take is whey protein with casein protein, but in the balance that mothers make it. Okay. If you just drink cow's milk, it's 90% casein, and that's for cows, but not for babies and humans. If you take 50% casein and 50% whey, which is the way mother's milk is, and then you add enzymes to it and let it sit for 45 minutes in 101 degree water, it will fully digest it and will turn into what's called amino acid peptides. The peptides necessary to make dopamine in your brain and serotonin in your brain. And then you've got the lithium orotate with all of its extra things to balance your dopamine and serotonin. And you will notice improvements right away. I've been doing this for 25 years. I developed this because 25 years ago or 23 years ago, I had early stage Parkinson's, and the treatment for that, I had to go to Mexico for it and pay $10,000 for peptides to go into my veins. So these peptides went into my brain, started restoring brain function for me, and I've been doing it ever since, but I don't want to pay $10,000 for a 3-month treatment.
Right.
I just figured it out, just give me the natural sources, do as natural as possible, which is you take the whey protein, the casein 50-50, which is the way mother's milk is, and you add the enzymes that will digest it in warm water, body temperature water, 101 degrees, a little bit warmer. It activates it. It bubbles up. It like cooks it for you. And then you drink it without ice. You could add ice later if you want it to be a milkshake. And it's fantastic and very low sugar, just enough sugar to activate the enzymes. And your brain just works so much better. If people want the information on how to find the best quality shakes that I recommend, you can go to marsvenus.com, contact and we'll send you a link. Just do that, and you get a
Wow.
20% discount. So,
I love that. Well, we've got a question also from my sister Shell. Does this work well for postmenopausal women?
and yeah, the same thing is what makes once you're post-menopause. Thank you again, Hatamala. Okay, Molly. Okay, so
Hot tamale.
hot tamale, hot tamale. Okay, well that is the solution, hot tamale, which is if you're menopausal or beyond menopause, one of your most important things is vulnerability. And God makes you vulnerable at that time. You're a little crazy at that time. You have to learn how to manage
I
it.
am.
And so today I can tell you every other day you could be using my app, which is called Heart Space, and process your negative emotions. Give yourself permission to be hot tamale and upset about things, mad about things, hurt by things, scared about stuff, be a little crazy. And that's hard for strong women to admit. This is all
Yes.
going on inside. So what
It's
you
a
do is
storm that
you,
goes on that you
the
can't help.
storm that goes on. And so what happens is you have to make sense of it all. So you can come talk to me for 15 minutes. I'll help you make sense of it and charge you a lot of money. Or you just go to my app, you 5 minutes, that's all you do. You answer 5 questions, 1 minute at least for each question. Based upon that information, the app will write out 5 pages of your emotions.
Wow.
Okay.
I didn't know I had that many.
You don't. No, you don't. They're all suppressed. They're repressed. See, one of the things that happens in your life is we build a wall around our heart. We don't realize it. It's like one brick after another, after another,
Yep.
after another. And we built it long before we get into relationships. Relationships is the time to take down that wall, take down that brick by brick.
Okay,
But
President Reagan.
what happens is we tend to go through, to make it kind of simple with metaphors, we go through what's called the 4 R's: resistance, resentment, rejection, and repression. And you can do that in 1 minute or in 3 hours. Okay. It could look, but that's one more brick in the wall. And then you feel fine again. And then you go through resistance. So your partner does something. Let's take the example of me with the forgetting to turn out the light. Okay. So my wife goes, he forgot again. I hate that. Done. That's resistance. And then she's feeling that resistance, ruminating a little bit. Why doesn't he remember? And then she goes into, well, I remember stuff for him all the time, and I do this for him. Okay, now she's in resentment. Okay, just real quick, you go into resist, and then you start thinking, I do better than him, or he's not doing this, or I do this for him. Why can't he do that for me? That's resentment. And then if you don't let go of your resentment, just say, I'm making a big deal out of this, and he does so much more for me. And this is a little thing. If you can't rationalize the whole thing and let it go, then what happens is you go into rejection. And then you go, well, then I'm just not going to be happy at dinner tonight. Okay. Because women know all you have to do is be unhappy and you can make a man unhappy. You subconsciously know that. This is why people get stuck in unhappiness. This is why they're all demonstrating out there. We're so unhappy because then you'll be unhappy. We want everybody to be unhappy because we're unhappy. It's just, this is the female side of us all. Oh, I can make you really unhappy by being unhappy. Why does your unhappiness make me unhappy? Because I'm a man and I want you to be happy. That's the good thing about men. I can be unhappy. It doesn't affect my wife at all. Well, you should be unhappy. So what men do subconsciously is we just pull away. Okay, we'll just say, well, then I'm not talking to you, and I'll go off and be happy without you. So these are natural tendencies: men pulling away, coming back, women being unhappy, happy. But then when we start realizing that we can affect our partner with them, then they become exaggerated. They become tools. The same thing with negative emotions. Negative emotions don't have to last long at all if we have subjective awareness. So that's what the Heart Space app does. It'll print out all your emotions. It will then print out what you need to hear. And then it will print out what, if you heard that support, how you would feel. Then it will give you affirmations. Then you'll pick an affirmation. Then it'll give you a commentary and a pep talk on your affirmation. Then it'll write a poem for you based upon what's going on in your life. They're beautiful poems. Chat does the AI does the poem. And then it writes a little story about your life right now.
Oh
All
my.
that, you can option. You don't have to do the whole thing if you don't want. It's fun. It's like looking in the mirror. See, everything in therapy is about taking what's inside out so you can look at yourself, so you can see yourself in a non-judgmental way. And this does it for people. So one of the best things for menopausal symptoms is to, in a context of sharing those feelings where nobody's going to judge you, and the number one person that's not going to judge you is you. So this just helps you become aware of you, or you go to a therapist who's going to hear you and not think you're crazy, but just know that you're going through menopause, or just know that you're a woman. Everything women say in my office after they leave, they go, well, I'm not so upset anymore. It's all transitory. And so being upset about something and holding on to it, there's no need to do that if you learn how to process your emotions. And certainly you can take the time to write. Writing is better if you know how to do it. The app teaches you how to do it, doing it for you. Kind of like having a mentor. When you see them doing it, then you learn how to do it. But even still, I know how to do it, but it's much easier to use the app. And it's fun to do. It's fun to have what's going on in your conscious mind and to be aware of everything that's going on subconsciously. So you have to try that out today.
A great app.
All right. And then you have to wait. You have to wait, though, until you're stressed. You have to feel stressed about something. It doesn't do anything unless you're feeling stressed, but it will take away your stress in minutes.
Oh, does it work for men too, or is it just for women?
Yeah. It works for men because we have a female side. There's two things that work for men. One thing, if a man's way on his male side, then all he has to do is go pump iron, go for a drive in his car, go for a walk, go play tennis, and it's done. That's all men have to do. But if a man, as he matures, naturally his estrogen goes up. Every man over 50 has high estrogen. The difference between my high estrogen and most men is my testosterone is 50% higher than when I was a young man. So if your estrogen is high and your testosterone is high, then you don't want to retire. You're not grumpy. You're not irritable. You don't get angry. All that fussy stuff of old men is just because their estrogen is high and their testosterone can be low.
The get off my lawn syndrome. Oh, got it. Yeah. Okay. Teresa has a question or a comment. Every time I tell my partner my feelings, he gets angry and defensive, then puts me down.
That's a great question for next week, and I'll talk about it tomorrow on Thursday. But we have to finish up here. I've got another interview, got to run to. I want to thank please write that one down. It's such a good question.
Yes.
It's the solution to everything, really. And I'm already 7 minutes over. I have to do this other interview right now. Thanks, everybody, for joining me. Be sure to share this with your friends. Check out the new HeartSpace app, Mars Venus HeartSpace app. There's the lithium orotate that you see there. You can go to marsvenus.com. You can check out that. I know you'll love it. You'll enjoy it. I've been promoting for 25 years. All I get is rave reviews. And thank you all for joining me. It's been a great show. Appreciate you, Kay, for bringing
questions, Dr. Gray.
Wonderful comments. Wishing you all the best. Have a great day.
Thank you for watching Q&A with Dr. Gray. Please share this out with all of your friends and family across all social media platforms. And be sure to tune in every Tuesday at 11 a.m. PST and 2 p.m. EST.